I want to take you in towards New York City now, where we find Jim Cantore, at least kind of in one of the areas that we just heard from Mayor Bloomberg. The transit is closed down. And what are you finding out there at this hour, Jim?
Yeah, that's pretty amazing, guys. When you look behind me here and you look over these waters that are usually just abuzz with all sorts of ferries. You know, the Staten Island ferry is still running till about 10 o'clock tonight. But to look out here, especially from what we had yesterday, this is amazing. On really a situation where there's not much weather right now, nor do we expect it until probably this time tomorrow. I mean, that's when we'll be into the teeth of this thing. So to see New York shut down like this is it's just mind-boggling. You know, there's cruise ships in ports and a lot of people, or a lot of boats, I should say, in ports, and rightly so, as a result of the wave action we're expecting here. And guys, to give you an idea of what we're talking about, right now we're at low tide, all right, so the water's down about 5 feet. Let's add 5 feet on top of mean tide, the average mean tide, and then 48 foot of surge, and I'm underwater right here. And that's what they're concerned about. That's why evacuation A was, or Zone A was asked to evacuate, and that's why certainly they made a big ditch effort to do that this morning. We heard from the mayor's office. They said, look, we've even got 2 firefighters out with school buses, 1 in each borough, to help people get out that need to get out of harm's way. And through here, we're talking about some 300,000. So obviously, that's just for elderly that really, really need help. All right, guys, we got a chance again to hear from Michael Bloomberg this morning at his conference. Here's what he had to say.
Let's stop thinking this is something that we can play with. This staying behind is dangerous. Staying behind is foolish, and it's against the law. And we urge everybody in the evacuation zone not to wait until there are gale force winds and driving rain to leave.
Now, there will be waves lapping into this Zone A area. There will be overwash. There's no question about that. The big question is, guys, will we see, at the time of high tide, that maximum surge component? And should those two integrate themselves over the area here in New York Harbor, we got some big problems and certainly some big flooding risks. But that is just one facet of this. Again, as I mentioned, just as quiet as you could possibly get. There's a Coast Guard cutter out there. That's about it. But even the streets, look at these pictures here. My producer, Howard Sappington, went out this morning and took some shots of empty streets. It's just easy to get around. I even got a tweet from a guy at Cantore. I've never made it to the airport this fast from Manhattan. There's just nobody out and about. And surely with a hurricane pending, that would be the situation here in New York, and really no way in, no way out. Now, what we heard about yesterday is the airports are shutting down as of noon as well in terms of outgoing flights. Or excuse me, inbound flights, even international flights. But outbound will still be going out, we think, through the mid-morning. No word on where that update is now. And guys, no word on what 300,000 people have evacuated. I don't know how half stayed, half left. That is still yet to be determined here. But we're ready for a multi-hazard situation right where I'm standing. The biggest problem certainly is going to be wave action and surge flooding, if you will, at the time of high tide. That's what we're worried about right here and these Zone A areas for the time being. But as we get into the interior areas for New Jersey, for New England, major issues with flooding. We could have all-time record crests on some of these rivers from New Jersey all the way up into New England. Kind of amazing and mind-boggling at that.